What's going on, everybody? It is Bogman here with CK to talk about some college football in week 3 of the season. Listen, I think I'm Captain Fade now. So I think what you need to do is you need to follow my bets for next week and just pick the opposite of whatever I pick, because today I was miserable in my selections. Started last night, actually, CK. Was it a little bit better for you, hopefully?
It wasn't as good as last week. Was pretty good. It's not going to be as good as last week, but I think I'm about 40-ish%. So it could be better always, but it could be a lot worse too.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of my props are going to be all right, but good Lord. I mean, I got Alabama team total over 33.5. We got that one. I got Miami minus 9.5 in the first half. So
nice.
I think that might be all I'm going to get. So I had Colorado yesterday and the under in that game. Nope. Had Arizona, or I had Kansas State minus a point, and they lost. I underestimated the give up on Colorado and K-State. That was really the first thing. So anyway, I'm just rambling here. Texas won, but Arch looked like garbage. Like, this is just not a good weekend for me right now.
So we'd start with that one. He started good, right? The running was okay. He just looks so jumpy throwing the ball. He looks so scared out there. Like, let it rip, brother. You are playing UTEP here. You should just trust your arm. And, even if it goes completely south, your defense, the Texas defense looks incredible. They are going to beat Sam Houston State handily, and they're going to beat UTEP handily. And then Florida comes up, and then Oklahoma. That'll be tough, but the defense looks great. So he just needs to get these jitters out before we hit the SEC here. But right now, 10 straight incompletions through a bad pick in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just you mentioned it too. Like, if he's hurt or not, we can talk about that. But he just looks miserable. So I don't care if he's hurt or not hurt right now. Like, you need to figure this out. And if he's not going to get it done, you got to put somebody else in, because we do have the big boys coming up. I believe next week is Florida. So let's see.
Pretty sure they have Sam Houston State first.
Yeah, Sam Houston State. You're right. Sam Houston State, then at Florida. So he's got to get this correct. So did
we see an update on? So Trey Wisner didn't play, and CJ Baxter left early. I did not.
He just didn't play again. He had the one carry for 6 yards, and they didn't put him in again. I don't know if that was precautionary or what it was, but Simon and I saw Clark had been getting more carries, but Simon got the most here. Or I think Jarrett Gibson, but James Simon was number 2. And then Arch, of course, ran for 2 touchdowns. Wingo caught a touchdown, but Livingstone didn't do much here, and just not a great game. Let's go to Georgia and Tennessee first. Let's do that one. This one was in overtime, 44-41, because I called the under 50.5. So pretty clear that I jinxed this game. I mean, Joey Aguilar threw 4 touchdowns, 371 yards. Gunnar Stockton, who was I believe he was 124 of 131 qualified QBs or whatever in ADOT, should make this offense fairly predictable and easier to stop. Nope. Dude made it rain. 23 of 31, 304 yards and 2 scores. Zachariah Branch, 69 yards and a score. Brazel had 3 touchdowns. This was, I believe, 2 yards. Yeah. 2 yards below 1,000 yards combined between these two teams. And by the way, Georgia held the ball for 41 minutes and 28 seconds of this game. I felt like every time I looked up, Georgia had the ball, and then they still wound up barely beating this team. They should not have won this game, I feel like. But when you watched it, what were your thoughts on Georgia-Tennessee here?
Well, Tennessee, in the words of Herm Edwards or Dennis Green, let him off the hook a couple times here with getting up early, 21-7 after the first quarter, and then just slowly giving it away, and then getting a late lead and not being able to stop him, and then missing a 42-yard field goal that would have won the game in before it went to overtime, only to make the same exact length field goal to start overtime. But then the very first play that Georgia touches the ball, it's 21 yards and you're down to scoring position. And It felt inevitable at that point, and eventually they punched it in. I thought Gunnar Stockton looked better. I mean, we talked about last week. He had the slow start too, right? Kind of like Arch. He had a slow start against Troy, but this is what you want to see from Gunnar Stockton. He came out, got the ball downfield, got the ball to all sorts of weapons. Georgia could run the ball, and yes, the time possession very one-sided. That's what happens when Chris Brazel had 6 catches for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns, just 3 long touchdowns for him for the day. So that's why the time of possession is so bad. But yeah, Tennessee should have won that game. They absolutely should have won that game, but Georgia found a way to do it. And I don't know if they'll move up in the polls. It'll be close. I mean, that's a good win, top 15 team, but I don't know if anybody's going to be able to drop because it looks like most of those guys up to the top are going to win too.
Yeah, I mean, I knew this game, the under was over for me when that Georgia safety threw that pathetic arm up. That wasn't even close. And then Brazel caught it and ran it for a touchdown on like the first play of the second drive for Tennessee. I was like, yep, 21 points in the first half of the first quarter.
Yeah.
I'm not getting this one. So completely hosed on that one. Let's go to Clemson, Georgia Tech, 21-24. Clemson had everything going for them, man. First in returning production, first on offense, 5th on defense. So much returning NFL talent. Cade Klubnik has looked awful. Running the ball has been a problem for them, but I mean, 358 yards from Georgia Tech. This was all just Haynes King making this possible. This dude is like he's like Georgia Tech's Tebow right now.
That's a good way to describe it. I was impressed. I mean, the way they won that game with the walk-off long 55-yard field goal, but no timeouts. I mean, that was the sprint play. They got it on the field, and the college kicker nailed the 55-yard. Yeah, hit it with the 55-yard field goal. But I mean, we saw Clemson start slow last week too against, I don't remember who they were playing, but they had the slow start, and we talked about, they kind of dialed it in the second half. But you're not going to start slow against good teams. And Georgia Tech is probably going to be ranked after this week. They've now knocked off a couple of pretty good teams in Colorado and Clemson here. I would expect them. So if you start slow and you don't score till inside the 2-minute warning, they did not have a point until inside the 2-minute warning of the first half. But you're not going to do that's tough to come back from. And then you mentioned it, Klubnik with a bad pick. It seems like this was inevitable. And right now, I don't know if Clemson falls inside. They might fall inside the top 25 from a team that started number 4. They were at 12. It's just a steady climb down the rankings here for that team.
And they're 1-2. And I mean, next week, Syracuse will jump on you if you don't take them seriously. And then they're at North Carolina. So giving Bill Belichick a couple weeks to work up on his guys. So impressive win from Georgia Tech. And I mean, Haynes King looks strong right now. How did Memphis beat Troy 28-7 worse than Clemson did, by the way? Weird game there. But let's see. The early slate also had Michigan whoop up on Central Michigan 63-3. Oklahoma beat Temple 42-3. Nebraska beat Houston Christian 59-7. Virginia 55-16 over William and Mary. 34-14 Oregon over Northwestern, which is not as impressive as we thought.
That one irritated me.
Okay, let's hear about it.
That one was irritating because that one I had, what did I have it at? I believe I had it at minus 27.5, and it was 34-0, and they were dominating, and they kind of slowed it down, and they gave up 2 late scores, including a 79-yard touchdown with like 1 minute left in the game when it was well in hand, only to not cover that game because I thought, okay, Oregon has already covered this 28-point line twice this season. Northwestern looks awful, and they looked awful again. And just as it didn't cover, they gave up 2 late scores in that game, which was very, very irritating. The other one that I thought was odd, how did Oklahoma go to Temple? I know it was at where the Eagles play. It was at Lincoln. Is it Lincoln Financial Field, I believe, is where
whatever
Eagles
it's called.
play.
Yeah, it's still a link there.
I was like, wow, I did not expect you to be at Temple, but that was a blowout again, 25-0 at one point. Mateer looks great. He looks like a true star. Does. I thought it might slow down a little bit transferring up from Washington State, which was playing a cupcake of a schedule all year last year. And we still haven't seen he played Michigan, of course. But other than that, Temple is a cupcake. But we're going to hit SEC play. But the way it looks right now, talked about Tebow. That's what he looks like right there. He's picking up big chunks of yards with his legs. He's a little wild in the pocket. And he looks great. Big win for Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to gush on Oklahoma
I know.
like
I know
you
it's
are,
tough for you, man,
but I love him a tier last year. Washington State had a great squad. He went in to Washington and beat them. Like this, we knew he was going to transfer out of Washington State last year. He's too talented to stay there, specifically with the turnover on everything at Washington State. But yeah, he does look really good. So my team doesn't look good. So gotta start looking good before the Red River rivalry here. But let's go to Missouri beating up Louisiana 52-10. This was 606 yards to 121. Louisiana is just right now, they're one of the bottom feeders in college football.
Did you see that Louisiana had their two quarterbacks combined to go 2 for 14 for 4 yards, and one of their quarterbacks' first name was Lunch. His name is Lunch, which is just
Winfield.
an A+ name. I saw that, but yeah, Missouri could have ran for 500 yards in that game. I mean, I think they were probably close. I didn't pull it up right now, but I know Ahmad Hardy went for 250, and the backup is Marquise Davis went for 113. So they could have just ran the ball all day, and Louisiana was never going to stop them.
Yeah, I had I did get 2 props in this game. I had Ahmad Hardy touchdown, which obviously had 3, and then I had Coleman over, I believe it was 56 yards receiving. So nice. Very, very at least I got those. I gotta mention the ones I hit here, I guess. Backyard Brawl went to West Virginia 31-24. I didn't see much of it because I was concentrating on all my other bets that were losing. But this game just is always a fun one every single year. We talked about it on BP this week, and I was just like, listen, I'm not touching this game. This one is too weird to me. It would be the most West Virginia thing ever to lose to Ohio at home and then beat Pittsburgh at home, and that's exactly what happened here. But it looks like it was just offense. They got it rolling at West Virginia, 434 yards here. They had 6 sacks on Eli Holstein as well. Yeah, I mean, West Virginia comes away with the win after really looking pathetic against Ohio last week. But Ohio's looking strong against Ohio State right now.
Yeah, they are. Desmond Reed, the star running back for Pittsburgh, got hurt for the second time in 3 games. He only ended up he made it through part of the first quarter, and then he was gone. I don't think he made it to the second quarter, but 6 carries for 30 yards for him. That makes it tough for Pittsburgh to hang in there. But the other part was they were just getting constant. I watched part of that game, and it felt like whenever they would get something going, penalty, and they constantly kept getting kicked back. So I pulled it up here. Yeah, 14 penalties for 118 yards. Yeah, they could not. And so that game, even though it went to overtime, it felt like Pittsburgh should have won that game. But if they just could have stopped shooting themselves in the foot.
Let's see. Penn State beat Villanova 52-6. Indiana over Indiana State on Friday, 73-zip. Good Lord. They look at how did they not cover my 30 week 1 against Old Dominion? Huh? How do they not do that? I mean, they had it by like 500 yards. Everything I touch
at one
right
point,
now.
Fernando Mendoza, I think he was like 17 for 17. He ended 19 of 20 in that game. He was he's phenomenal. He is so good as a quarterback, and now he gets that Signetti offense. I think he's going to get picked in the first round, dude.
I mean, he looks great. I don't know if I'm going to go that far quite yet. Let's see him against some of the big boys, but he's definitely. I mean, should be a good QB class, but Cade Klubnik is fading like a rock right now, and Nussmeier's stock has definitely taken a touch of a hit, and Arch looks like garbage, even if he were to come out. So Lenore Sellers just got hurt. Yeah. There's definitely ways to move up. Haynes King looks good as well. Let's talk about some of these other games here. Alabama looked much better, 38-14 over Wisconsin. Got the team total on that one, but Simpson looked way better. But it was really like, what a difference Ryan Williams makes, for God's sake. I mean, good Lord. Let's get the ball in his hands. He's going to score.
Honestly, it wasn't even that close. 38-14, it wasn't that close. Wisconsin returned a kickoff to make it look a little better. But yeah, Ryan Williams came back from the concussion, had a long touchdown. They got the ball to Jeremy Bernard in a variety of ways. He had the rushing touchdown. I actually, in the league that we're doing where you have to pick 10 picks against the spread every week, I didn't actually bet it, but in that one, I took Wisconsin plus the 20.5. thinking, I was looking at it, they were like third in rushing yards per play, and I thought, okay, well, they can stop the run. We'll force Ty Simpson to beat us. That actually happened. Alabama couldn't run the ball very much at all, but he very much beat them. Alabama 22 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown. So that actually worked, but turns out that he can throw the ball, and did not cover the 20.5 there at all.
This is not the same rushing team that we had with Grubbs there, right?
I think they have a bye next week. I believe they have a bye next week, and hopefully they can get Jam Miller back because they're about to start SEC play. I saw it on ESPN. 17 of the last 20 possessions going back to last week against ULM, Alabama has now scored. 17 of 20, including 15 touchdowns. So, yeah, it's ULM, but Wisconsin should be better. Like, you should not be doing that against a team like Wisconsin. So, good. Let's get them going here. Good for Alabama.
Let's see. Texas Tech just beat Oregon State 45-14. That one had a weird lightning delay. Didn't give me my over because of that. At least that's what I'm going to blame. That'll be my excuse. Iowa State, I tailed one of my guys Seth's bets because I was like, I'm miserable. Let me tail a Seth bet. And I laid the points and took Iowa State, and they only won by 8 at Arkansas State. Miami won 49-12 over USF, and not a surprise that the USF run comes to an end here, but I mean, this was an ass kicking. They gave up 576 yards of offense. Carson Beck threw for 340 and 3 scores. Fletcher ran in 2. Moore scored twice. Marion and Tony, both 6 catches, 81 yards for Marion, 66 for Tony. This was a very strong game for Miami, and all right, USF may still be the best G6 team, but they're not. Miami is a top. They're ranked 5 now. Nowhere to go but up, it seems.
Yeah, this looks like a revitalized Carson Beck. He does. He looks really good again. And now, I know it's USF, but we saw him against Notre Dame, and USF was ranked top 20. Whether or not they deserve that, I don't know. But 23-28, like you said, 340 yards. Yeah, he turned it over a couple times, but I don't hate that. Like, he's being more aggressive downfield. He looks more comfortable, and we're just talking about that's a down running back or a down quarterbacks. I shouldn't say it's a down quarterback class. It is a quarterback class in flux. That's what I'll say. And we've seen the talent from Carson Beck before. He ran it in one for this game, 28 yards rushing and a touchdown. Just remember that it wasn't that long ago. We were talking about Carson Beck being pretty much the number 1 quarterback last season. And yeah, he fell flat on his face, but the talent's still in there. Maybe it was just a change of scenery, and this is a team that just put Cam Ward to the number 1 pick in the draft, right? So I don't think that from Carson Beck, but he's looking really good right now.
He does. He looks very, very strong. We do have some games going on right now, some big ones as well. Ohio State currently beating Ohio 30-9. We just need some more points in that game, please. Just give me 2 more touchdowns, and I'll be good. Vandy is beating South Carolina 20-7, and Lenore Sellers got hurt. So I think, did they just run the kickback? What was that? Was that a big play?
It must have been, because I still show 14-7. So
it was a 5-yard touchdown, but they must have had a big play to get down there.
There it goes. Now it's just moved to 20-7. It was 17-yard pass to Stowers that got him down 2 in the red zone there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The interesting game there. I thought I like the over in this game because it's South Carolina at night, and it's not over, but it's not pacing that way. No. 14-7 at halftime, but it is. I think the total was 47.5, something like that. So maybe we get there, but Lenore Sellers being hurt, and I'm not sure if he's coming back or not.
Vandy looks pretty good. I'll say it. Vandy looks pretty good here.
They look great last week, and I was done. Last week I was like, okay, I'm done disrespecting Diego Pavia, so I'm going to take the over in this game because I think they'll be able to score against South Carolina, but I also think South Carolina will be able to score against them, but not without their quarterback maybe. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Vandy looks great. They really do.
They do. Yeah, they look. I mean, at this point, I think Vandy's a better team than Kentucky. We can talk about them too. They look terrible again. They're struggling against. It's a lower level school. I don't have it up in front of me, but I saw that they were struggling, and your boy Calzada got benched.
I think he was hurt. But
is he hurt?
He did. He is not playing, and they scored 31 points, which is the best total that they've had all year, I believe. 31-16. They're beating Eastern Michigan. But yeah, I mean, what is it? It's They have 14 more yards total than Eastern Michigan, by the way. It's 313 to 299. And Boley is 8 for 17 with 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, they are not great this year. Auburn won 31 to 15 over South Alabama. If we're looking at the SEC, Coleman didn't get me my damn yardage total. I can tell you that much. He did score a touchdown, jerk. Couldn't get in there for me. LSU is beating Florida 13 to 10, but that definitely looks like a tighter game than we gave it credit for after Florida lost to USF last week.
It seems like this is kind of maybe Florida was looking ahead to this game and it cost them USF, but they came out. Legway had a bad pick early in that game. Nussmeyer's looked okay at times. He ran a little bit. He had a big play at a run, actually, called back from I think it was a legal man downfield. It was an odd play, I thought, but yeah, LSU got a couple touchdowns or scored a couple points there in the second quarter. And now we're coming out of halftime here. We'll see. I still think LSU will eventually pull away in this game. Did you see their star linebacker Whit Weeks got called for targeting in like the very first drive? And I thought he was going to like literally have
he's crashing out
stroke on the sideline. He is so intense. He's like punching himself in the face that he's in there and
he get called for so he got bounced.
Yeah, well, you can stay on the sideline. He can't play the rest of the game. You can stay on the sideline and watch. But he was so mad, and I think it was the right call. The receiver lowered his head to try to pick up more yards, and he kind of lowered his head too. And they both hit helmets, and I think he was mad that if the receiver hadn't lowered his head, he wouldn't have hit him. But targeting, but by the rule of the law, it was targeting, and so he got kicked out of the game. But he was losing it on the sideline until they went over there. The coach went over there and called him down.
Wow. Well, got to rein it in, man. I would love the passion. Yep. Got to rein it in. But hopefully nothing else comes of that. It's just, he misses the rest of this game. Should be back next week for them.
He's a good one.
A&M leading at halftime, 28-24 over Notre Dame. Not how I saw it going, but it's not like A&M hasn't given up many rushing yards, 59 rushing yards. Notre Dame has done most of their damage through the air, 159 yards passing so far. So much higher scoring than I kind of thought this was going to be, and a really good game where I kind of thought, look, Notre Dame's at home. A&M hasn't been able to stop the run. Maybe they're just going to run it right down their throat, but that hasn't been the case so far.
So that game is just big play after big play. I've seen a couple of long throws from Marcel Reed. One of them went to a touchdown to Mario Craver, but he's only completed 9 passes for 258 yards. That is over 16 yards a pass right now for him. He's back. He missed with an injury last week, I believe it was. And Notre Dame, at least we're at 10 carries at halftime for Jeremiah Love, because remember, he got 6 in the entire first game against Miami, but 10 carries for 43 yards. Get him the ball more. Yes,
he has 4 catches for 50 and a score also, but
that's what we need to do. Get him the ball, and let's see if we can pick up some offense that way. Help out CJ Carr a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game where if Love is healthy, he should have 25 touches.
Yes.
So I think we'll see more of him, and I would like to see them run the ball a little bit more as well in the second half. Ole Miss up by 10 on Arkansas, 38-28. There was a lot of question about what's going on with Austin Simmons in this game. I didn't really want to talk about it on the BP show, so we kind of skipped it, but he played one set, threw a touchdown, and then it was Chambliss after that. And Chambliss is 20 of 26 for 353 yards and a score, but Taylon Green also has 232 and a touchdown through the air, 99 and a score on the ground. So Arky staying in this, but it's in the fourth quarter. Ole Miss is driving. It looks like they're about to, make this a 3-score game if they can get a touchdown here.
So I was in a CFF league where the guy was trying to say that he was going to replace Austin Simmons because he didn't play, and then he came in and got that one snap, and now he has to eat it for the no, at least he threw him a touchdown, so 6 points, but that I guess he ran once too, it looks like. So he did get a couple plays out of him, but now it doesn't get replaced. Yikes. I took Arkansas plus the 7.5 because you got the hook, and I didn't think Austin Simmons would play, but I'm fully aware that the Lane Kiffin offense is so quarterback friendly that I've never seen Trinidad Chambliss play until tonight. He was a transfer up from the FCS level, I believe. But he looks great. That's what he does. He creates offense for them, and they stepped right in, and he's leading the team down the field. But we're not dead on that one. Arkansas can still get this back to within a touchdown score, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that one is still alive. You know what we didn't talk about? Going over here looking at the Big Ten, I'll go through some of their scores. USC is winning 33-17. That is almost over. We're right on the doorstep of that one being over. I think there's less than a minute left. Illinois beating Western Michigan in the fourth quarter, 31-0. Iowa smacking down UMass 37-7 in that game. Maryland beat Towson 44-17. But we didn't talk about New Mexico beating UCLA 35-10. First of all, we don't think of Big Ten and UCLA, but that is the case. But New Mexico went into the Rose Bowl and smacked these guys around. I mean, this was 450 yards of offense, almost 300 rushing yards for New Mexico, 298 yards. And Nico Iamaleava, I mean, you want to talk about buyer's remorse. Joey Aguilar just went out there and is putting an NFL resume up there. Had Tennessee score 41 points on Georgia's defense. This dude can't get more than 10 against New Mexico at home. 22-34. I mean, what is going on with UCLA? Deshaun Foster is going to get fired soon, right?
Yeah, he's holding on by a thread already there. After starting 0-3. They gave up. They were holding their own, which shouldn't happen. They should be killing New Mexico. Like, they should be throttling New Mexico. But at least after 3 quarters, they were down only 4 points. And then to give up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter against a team like New Mexico, if you're UCLA, is unacceptable. Your defense has to be better than that. Nico Iamaleava has to play better than that. Too many penalties, 116 yards of penalties in that game. They look undisciplined, and that leans back on the coach. And yeah, you tried to pay for getting him in there, Nico, that is, and you expected him to lead your offense, and he's not. And your defense isn't holding up well enough. This one looks like one of the bigger disasters, I guess is the way to say it. I don't know how to say it. Dumpster fires. It doesn't look good now that we're sitting here at 0-3, and they haven't been competitive, and they should be.
Yeah. I mean, that one just looks pathetic right now. I don't know what is going on with UCLA, so they better get it straightened out there. But Deshaun Foster, I mean, what do you get? One more loss? Even, I mean, he might be gone tomorrow, so we'll see. This one I didn't see, by the way. I just flipped over to the ACC. Old Dominion is beating Vatech 38-13 in the fourth quarter. What the hell is happening here, man?
Yeah, after that first game where Vatech looked pretty good against the South Carolina, it doesn't look good at all. And Old Dominion, that's my boy Colton Joseph. I said I think he can play in the Big Ten, or like he could play at that level. And he's holding his own again. 240 passing yards, a couple TDs. I think he ran for another touchdown. I know he had a big yard. I was watching it in the background. It had a long run. Yeah, he had 57 yards and another touchdown in there. So yeah, I don't know. Kyron Jones, he's only throwing 7 incompletions. He's trying to do his Haynes King, but it's not working. And
I mean, it's not his fault they gave up 430 yards. I mean, that's on the Vatech defense. That is pathetic. No good there. Let's see what else happened in the ACC. Tulane is beating Duke 24-9 at halftime. That one's a little surprising. Like, I thought it is in Tulane, so I thought they would win, but I thought that game would be much closer. North Carolina beat Richmond 41-6. SMU beat Missouri State 28-10, and NC State won 34-24 Thursday. Syracuse over Colgate 66-24 on Friday. Anything else in the ACC for you?
NC State's game on Thursday. That was a fun game with them and Wake Forest, going back and forth for a lot of that game. I had it on. I was a little more focused on the Packers, who look awesome. Just a quick FYI there. But on the background on that one, NC State with a late comeback scored all the points in the fourth quarter. Hollywood Smothers with a nice game. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. But the rest of them, I did not see any of the Duke Tulane game. I should probably try and find that one if they're that's.
Every time I've seen that game, it's been a lot of highlights for me. But every time I've seen that game, it's been Tulane has the ball in the red zone. Like, that's been the whole game to me, is Tulane has had the ball. In the Big 12, We had Texas Tech beat Oregon State 45-14. Utah is only up 10-0 on Wyoming. Playing at Wyoming gets weird. It's at elevation, but so is Utah. And Utah has done this trip before. Maybe there's some weird weather there. I know it gets insanely windy, but this, I mean, the thing that I'm looking at the score says 9-mile-an-hour winds. So that
Well, the thing I'm
shouldn't
looking
be
at
preventing
says,
them from passing the ball. And Devin Dapierre has 27 pass attempts, so it's not the wind.
they
What the
have
hell's happening?
340 yards of offense to Wyoming 78, but 10-0.
How are they
how
not punching
works.
this ball in?
They only turned it over once. I'm trying to see if there's a lot of penalties here. No, not really. They've had the ball 23 minutes to 10. Just a weird
6
game.
penalties. Maybe they're all in the same spot because, like you said, 1 for 1 on 4th down, so they didn't even turn it over on downs at any point. They only have 1 punt. They lost 1 fumble. That's it. 6. It must be these crazy 6 penalties.
Just a weird game. That's what happens up there. It looks like actually they've missed 2 field goals. Actually, they've missed 3 field goals. They are 0 for 3 on field goal attempts. That'll get it. That'll do it.
And well, it's not the win. That's just a crappy kicker.
Apparently.
TCU 35-6 over Abilene Christian. That one's not surprising. 70-0 Cincy over Northwestern State. Did you watch any Houston, Colorado, or Arizona over Kansas State? I mean, to me, like I said, I definitely underestimated the give up on these teams.
I don't know why. So Colorado switched quarterbacks this week. They went with Ryan Staub, who sat behind Shador last year. And it wasn't his fault. He had a couple of picks in that game, but Houston got up early and just could not be stopped when they wanted to run the ball. That was the Connor Wegman that looked pretty good a couple of years ago. Actually, it was him running the ball. We've kind of lost hope at times in him, but he looked pretty good in that game too. And so we talked about Nico. Is Avery Johnson actually good?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's good either. I thought he was better than this, but I'm not sure that it's any different. He struggles to pass. He can't really run right now. If you take away the direct snap Wildcat coming out of halftime to Jace Brown, they ran, as a team, 12 carries for 13 yards. I know that you have Dylan Edwards banged up, and yes, he played in that game. I think he had 4 carries for 13 yards. But other than a 5-minute stretch coming out of halftime, Kansas State was so thoroughly outplayed in that game. They scored all 14 points in this little 5-minute stretch, including that wild card play. But otherwise, it wasn't even close. That game was not close at all, even though it looks like a 6-point game. And Avery Johnson looked bad.
My thing in this game was, look, I watched all of Hawaii and Arizona is not that good. That was my thought process. Like, okay, Kansas State, they get run on. That's what happened. Like you saw it in Iowa State and Kansas State in the first half. Iowa State tried to throw the ball a lot. Beck got sacked a bunch. And then in the second half, Matt Campbell made the adjustment. It was run over the right side for 50% of the plays, and they were ripping off 9, 13, 11, like just huge chunk gains in the run game. Then we see Kansas State lose to Army. And I'm like, okay, well, it's pretty clear to me that Kansas State just cannot stop the run. Arizona's not a run-heavy team. They were top 10 in passing play percentage last year, 54%. They're also 14th in returning production. So the offense doesn't change a ton, but when you see how deficient Kansas State is, you run at it. And I even said, I was like, I think Arizona will be able to run the ball, but I don't think that means they'll be able to pass. And once you get Fafita in there passing the ball, it's going to be bad. Well, no, they ran for 234 yards in this game. Mahdi went for 189, including a 60-yard touchdown. Like Kansas State, they have a problem where they can't move the ball with Avery Johnson. They can't pass the ball. It makes their offense predictable. All you got to do is stop the run. And they can't stop the run. They are going to be a bottom feeder in the Big 12 the whole year. It just took this game for me to really realize it. I thought it was just, okay, we have 2 good run games, and now we have a bad run game coming into town. Maybe that'll change the tune, but not at all. Arizona was better than I thought. Kansas State much worse than I thought as well. Let's see. Anything on the G6 at all? I mean, I'm trying to look and see ECU up big on Coastal. Navy beating Tulsa. North Texas beat the crap out of Washington State.
That was one I was going to talk about. Did you see any of that game at all?
No, I just saw the score keep ticking up for North Texas.
That's because Washington State, I think it was the first 5 possessions, or if not, it was the 5 of the first 6 possessions turned the ball over. And you cannot do that against an offense. At one point, Mestamaker had 3 incompletions and they had 5 turnovers on the other way. So it was out of hand in no time. I didn't realize until I was watching part of that game that Washington State had replaced Xavier Eckhouse with a different quarterback. Jackson Potter was the quarterback starting that game. Eckhouse sat behind Mateer last year, and I thought, oh, this could be pretty good. And then I got in. I was like, oh, he's not even in there. They brought him in at the end of the game when it was well out of hand. But yeah, 42-3 at halftime, and Washington State could not stop turning the ball over to North Texas. And you are not going to hang with a team like North Texas if you're giving them free possessions.
Right, exactly. So pathetic. Washington State is just a rough team this season. It's 37-9. Ohio State is up on Ohio. I need one more touchdown in this game. There's 5 minutes and 45 seconds left. Please give me that one. Let's see. Looking at the MAC.
How about UConn?
Buffalo? Okay, yeah. Let's talk about UConn.
Yeah, UConn and Delaware going into overtime. That a boy, Rob.
Yeah.
That was fun. Over 1,000 yards of combined offense at both teams.
Yeah, what is this, Georgia, Tennessee?
Exactly. UConn was doing it passing. Delaware did it with running, but like shout out to Skylar Bell. He's going to be in the NFL next year. He's really good receiver for UConn. He is very talented, and he is the classic. Everyone knows what's coming as far as passing the ball when UConn passes. He is option 1A and 1B, and he still usually could get around 100 yards, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, good win. Delaware, big win in their first home game versus what did I see? It was like the first home game versus a FBS school in like almost 20 years or something like that. Pretty cool.
Marcel Reed just missed a 95-yard touchdown by half a yard. Ooh, because I think that was Concepcion. He had the corner beat again.
Oh.
Ooh. You hate to see it. Buffalo wins on the road 31-28 over Kent State. Akron scored points today. 24 that they actually have a chance. That game's not even at halftime, and it's 24-20. So
Kent State hanging, like you said, Kent State hanging in there with Buffalo after being just completely destroyed the last few weeks. So yeah, that was pretty good for them.
Yeah, we love to see that. Toledo 60 zip over Morgan State. Bowling Green 23-13 over Liberty. Let's see, what else do we have in the G6 here? We have in the Mountain West, obviously still 10-0 Utah and Wyoming in the third. 7-zip Utah State over Air Force. That game just kicked off. Fresno State just early in the first over Southern. 7-zip. Nevada, Middle Tennessee is at halftime. I think the biggest game there in the Mountain West was the UCLA New Mexico game. The Fun Belt.
Just
go ahead.
Correction. Middle Tennessee State and Nevada should be done because I watched that game end. Middle Tennessee State was down 13-0 and came back and scored a couple TDs late.
Okay. Yeah, my score app had it like before halftime, so it must just not be.
No, that one should be done. Middle Tennessee State, scored 14 points in the last few minutes of that game to come back and win that game. So
now it says final. Maybe I was just misreading it.
That's okay.
Yeah, my bad.
No.
Let's see. Sun Belt, Georgia Southern and Jacksonville State is 41-34 in the fourth quarter. So Georgia Southern has the ball, but Jacksonville State's down to score. So maybe they can come back and get something there. Let's see. Memphis and Troy we talked about. Marshall beat Eastern Kentucky 38-7. ECU 24-zip over Coastal. Man, Coastal's gonna have a long year.
Yes, they are.
And Southern Miss is beating the crap out of App State 38-14. And Old Dominion continues to pour it on 45-13 now over Va Tech. This is, dude, I'm gonna have to text Sealy because he went to ODU. So
really?
He's going to be ecstatic about this game.
If you're Old Dominion, you have a chance to pour it on to a team like Va Tech. You are not slowing down. We are rolling up the score here. This is something you recruit on for a few years. You're like, do you remember that game? We took it to Va Tech, and everyone's like, no. And then you show the highlights. That's how you started going there. So good for them. Keep it rolling, man. 232 yards rushing. That should not happen against a team like Virginia Tech with their defense.
Diego Pavia just threw a pick in the end zone. And
Ooh.
I need points in that game. Come on, man. I already have a hurt quarterback. You just give me points? Yeah, it was a hold. There was a flag. I think he thought it was on the defense, so he just threw it up.
Yeah.
And it was on the offense. So they declined it and obviously have the ball now. Ugh,
What do you have
gross.
in the? You need Ohio State to be the team that scores?
No,
I
I just need points.
Okay. Because Ohio's they're moving the ball a little bit here. I got it on.
I need a touchdown. So
they're over midfield. We're over midfield here.
Just garbage touchdown. That's all I need right there because the total was 50.5. So, and it's at 46. So field goal does nothing for me. Which I could easily see a MAC team like, oh, we got double digits.
We could hit double digits. Yep, exactly.
Oh my God. Don't do that. Just go for the score. Don't do it. So I think that's everything, man. I think we've had anybody boosting your eyes big outside of Carson Beck in draft stock right now?
Ooh, let me pull up my sheet here quick. I mean, Mateer, we talked about. I like Mateer, of course. He looks pretty good now. If I had to go, I have not re-ranked anything. I'll probably do it at the end of September here, but Mateer is probably going to be ahead of Klubnik at this point. I think he has to be.
Yeah, I look, I don't mind that at all. I think if Sellers misses more than this game, he's got to move down because he's been hurt like every year.
That's my feeling with him, right? It's not the talent, undeniable. The fact that he just loves to lower the shoulder and try to pick up yards, you love it until you don't when he gets injured. That's the problem. You love it until it just no longer works anymore. I think I was a little low going into the year on Carnell Tate. I'm probably going to have to readjust my thinking on Carnell Tate. I thought he was not as impressive as, the other many Ohio State stud wide receivers that we've seen. Ebeke Buka looked awesome in the NFL to start the year. That we expected that, but Carnell Tate I thought was a step below, but he could get into that first round discussion. Have you seen? Let's see, where's my guy? Have you seen Chris Bell at Louisville at all?
No, I don't think I have. I know the name, but I don't think I've seen too much of him.
So Chris Bell, he looks the part of AJ Brown. I mean, he is huge and physical, and when he gets the ball in his hands on those slants, you think, okay, this on AJ Brown, this could be Des Bryant, like that type of a player where he gets the ball and he just looks to chew up huge chunks of yardage with big strides. I am pretty excited for what Chris Bell could be if I think he might actually have another year of eligibility if he decides not to come out, but I don't know why he wouldn't at this point.
Right.
I've been very disappointed with Caden Proctor at Alabama. I have not obviously done anything today. He looks big and not in a good way. So we'll
big and slow.
Yeah, he looks big and slow. And for defensive guys, well, if you want to get a little deep, Emmanuel McNeil Warren is a safety for Toledo. As Toledo's starting to be like little bit corner secondary U down there for the G5 level.
Dude, they held, I think Western Kentucky scored their scores late last week, right? Oh, terrible throw by Lagway. Oh, okay. This is a replay, dude. I thought that was live. I'm sorry. I have him on the bottom left, but they were showing the replay in the Vanderbilt, South Carolina. I'm like, again, Lagway? My God. But it was just a replay. My bad.
He had a big 6 in that game. That's just
that's the replay I just saw. So it's 20-10. LSU is winning right now. Here's Theo Vaughn on the screen at a South Carolina game for some reason.
Hey, get yourself on TV as much as you can, man.
No press is bad press, right? Let's see.
Did you? I should talk about some of my bets here quick. So
Notre Dame's up again, by the way. They took
the lead.
Yeah, 31-28 now.
I have LSU -7.5 in that game. So
okay.
We're looking okay. I was looking, they're 17-1 in the last 18 there at Death Valley. 4-1 against the spread, but I don't know. We can't have a lot of turnovers in that game.
Well,
DJ Lagway's already thrown the ball 35 times.
Good Lord, really?
That is not the way that team should
Especially
be winning
with
games.
that like updated secondary, right? Yeah, that's not what you need to be doing. So
we are down to the 33 Bogs for Ohio here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. I don't have that one on. I don't know why I don't have it. I have a baseball game on my quad box instead, but I don't know why it's not on my screen. Let's see. Anything else happening here? 20-10, Navy up 28-17. Duke
Navy
is scoring
wasted-
touchdowns 24-16 now. So they're within 8 points. But
Kennesaw State, did we talk about Kennesaw State? They got their first win of the season and their first win under their new head coach. I watched part of that game against Merrimack. I did not watch it. It was on the small screen, but
Merrimack's look pretty good, right? They're a pretty good FCS squad.
Good FCS school. And Kennesaw State, their main quarterback was hurt, so they were playing Amari Odom as the backup. But the other guy also came in, Texter Williams. So they got a couple of quarterbacks in there in that game. I don't know if they'll win another game this season, but hey, good for you. You got your first win out of the way.
Their defense wasn't terrible week 1, right? Didn't they lose 10-9 to Wake Forest? Yeah, 10-9, but then they got smoked by Indiana. But Indiana will do that to anybody if you let them. ODU didn't let them, and then ODU went in and smacked Va Tech. So
it's a weird game that we like here, Boggs.
It is. And this is, I just feel like Vegas is laughing at everybody this week. So hopefully it's not just me, but hopefully it is just me. Like, hopefully everybody else won their money. And like I said,
just scored. Kyron Jones with a touchdown.
Who did?
Kyron Jones threw a touchdown to, I'm not sure who. I don't have the noise on, but 45-19. Nope, not Ohio. Sorry.
Come on, Ohio. Get one across here. We need it. But that'll do it for us this week. And what is coming up for you, CK?
Football, fantasy football. It's a little bit more fantasy baseball. I have one more week of waiver wires for the baseball as we start to wind down there. But fantasy football shows Thursday night, fantasy football content, a couple days a week. Just follow Twitter, COPIEPS.
Yep, at Bogman Sports for me. I will have my early line betting show on Monday. Obviously, on Sunday evening, I will have the Fantasy Pros live reaction show, so you can come and comment on that. I believe it's on the Twitch on Fantasy Pros, and then I'll have betting content all week on Betting Pros. Welsh and I will have, we got a couple more weeks of baseball, and then obviously football as well. We do our reaction show for week 1 on Mondays, and then usually Wednesdays or Thursday mornings we record the ranking show. So if you want to send in an email there, inthisleague@gmail.com. And that is it for us this week. We'll see you next week. Please score, Ohio. Give me one, for God's sake. All right. See you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.